A CNBC report says the White House turned down a planning meeting with China last week over disagreements on enforcing intellectual property rules. U.S. trade representative officials were set to meet with two Chinese vice ministers to try to help resolve trade differences before the March 1st deadline. A source close to the situation told CNBC that the meeting was called off. President Trump has said if no agreement is in place by March 1, he'll reinforce punitive tariffs on about half of all goods China sends to America. The White House told CNBC that the teams from both countries remain in touch ahead of the visit from the Chinese vice premier yet this week. Now, the Treasury Department and the U.S. Trade Representative's office both didn't answer questions for comment by CNBC. White House economic advisor told CNBC that no meetings were canceled last week and that only one of the scheduled is when the vice premier comes to Washington, D.C. for their official negotiations this week. Well, the longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history affected an investigation into a strain of bovine tuberculosis in a North Dakota beef cattle herd. State officials who had so far have shrouded most of the probe into the strain, similar to masses in cases of Mexican cattle not previously seen in the U.S. Chances are low the situation will imperial with cattle herds or people, particularly since a herd in southeastern North Dakota's Sargent County has been quarantined. But it could delay solving the mystery of how that strain of bovine tuberculosis, similar to cases associated with cattle in the south of the U.S. border, surfaced on cows near the northern border. And finally, a senior USDA official says the amount of money sent to farmers to help mitigate the financial damage from the trade war may not be as much as expected. An agricultural.com article quotes USDA's Undersecretary Bill Northey as saying up to 2/3 of the Trump trade aid payments were made by early January. Be safe out there in this wind. I'm Susan Littlefield on the Rural Radio Network.
This is Mike. Mike likes his car. Mike likes to save money. And Mike likes to breathe. So Mike fills up with E15 with 15% American ethanol. The clean octane in E15 gives Mike the performance he wants from his engine and the clean air he wants for his family. Better yet, E15 costs less at the pump. Higher octane, cleaner air, lower cost. E15 sure gives Mike a lot to like. Discover E15 with American ethanol.